My blade is at your service.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
Hey friends, today's video is going to be an informative walkthrough on how to play against Jax's Irelia, because I see a lot of people struggle in this matchup. This video isn't only productive for learning Irelia, but it's also productive for learning Jax, or the matchup together, and what you should do if you're playing Irelia, or what you should do if you're playing Jax, because I'm pretty experienced at playing the matchup from both ends, and I'm pretty confident that I can win it on both ends as well. I'm going to be focusing on the laning phase in particular, because I want to take things with you guys one step at a time. I don't want to teach you everything all together because you're not going to remember everything, so I'd rather just teach you how to become a good laner and in another video teach you more about the macro plays and what you should do with your lead. So for now, I'm going to teach you how to get a lead. In the Jax versus Irelia matchup, the Jax will most likely take stun at level 1 and the Irelia should most likely take stun at level 1 as well. If the Irelia takes Q, she basically loses lane right there. Jax should always start Doran Shield into Irelia, and Irelia should always start Flask into any matchup whatsoever. The reason why Jax starts Doran Shield in this matchup is because Irelia can stun harass Jax without him really being able to do anything, and in order to sustain the stun harass from Irelia, the Jax has to take a Doran Shield. The reason why Irelia wants to take E at level 1 into Jax is because Jax's all-in at level 1 is very strong, and there's no way around it other than to disengage the all-in itself, and the only way you can disengage the all-in as Irelia is to E the Jax, and in order for the Jax to win the level 1 all-in, Irelia has to take something like W or Q, or she has to waste her stun recklessly, so the Jax has the level 1 advantage in this matchup. Now that Jax has used his stun recklessly, Irelia can cast her stun twice before Jax gets his stun back up. Therefore, Irelia's stun is 8 seconds long, and Jax's stun is 16 seconds long. Okay, so now I can just harass him for free. But, well, I did it too late here, and then we just came out even, alright? But, it's still worth it, because, again, my E is less cooldown than him. So, I walk up to him again and auto attack. Same thing, and then he Qs in. That's just how the trade works. But again, I'm still winning because I'm still level 1. When I hit level 2, I'm getting regen. So then I see him go in, I stun him immediately, but he does a really good job here because when I land my stun, because of the minion aggro change, all of these minions go in on me, and I forget about that. And then here, I know he's gonna flash to finish me off. Oh shit, I pressed record. And then I just barrier, and I ignited. This is scare tactics, because the cooldown is 2 minutes, so there's no point not to ignite. So here, I know for a fact he's gonna flash to finish me off. Even if he doesn't flash to finish me off, and I'm walking back, I'm gonna count 1 Mississippi. After the 1 Mississippi is over, I'm gonna click barrier, because that's the reload time of his auto attack. Okay, he's got 0.97, that's literally 1 second before his auto attack's off cooldown and he can finish me off. So I'm gonna count my head 1 Mississippi, then I'm gonna click my barrier, okay? And then as soon as I count that, I'm gonna, even if he doesn't flash after me to finish me off, I don't care. I clicked my barrier just to be safe because by the time I get back to lane, it's back up. So now he actually wastes flash to go on at me, which is really bad for him because my barrier is 3 times less than his flash. It's 2 minutes to 5 minutes. Well, not, it's 2.5 times. And then here, we both engage on him. I missed my Q, but it doesn't matter. We kill him. And yeah, so the ignite really helped there because like we lowered him obviously and his regen wasn't as good. So there, that gives me the lead I want to win the lane. And now, just to be sure that I win this lane, all I have to do before fighting him again is wait for my combat summoners to come back up. It's 2 minutes cooldown. Okay, even though it says 210 seconds, it's glitched. It's a 2-minute cooldown. That's all I have to do to beat the Jax over and over and then capitalize on my lead. Let's go on forward. So we're just gonna zoom forward. Because the matchup is favored in Jax's position early game, it's still a tricky with flash TP until I get like Sheen. But I'm not a big fan of building Sheen. Here I see the Jax level 2, I Q and then I E him because I have minion advantage. And then there goes his E. See, I just won a lot by getting his E out of the way, okay? Because the matchup requires him to get rid of my W for him to win, and for me to get rid of his E for me to win. That's how the matchup works, okay? And since I got rid of his E, I can punish him now. I literally can walk up to him and just do a lot of damage. Okay, so I E auto attack. I don't waste my W, because if I waste my W, I lose a lot. Like, I'm basically fucked. So I always hold on to my W, and he always should hang on to his E, but he's not a good Jax player, so he doesn't hang on to his E. Okay, so here, let's go back. Let's show you what happens. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier, about capitalizing on each other's mistakes. Okay, so watch what happens in this trade. I auto, and then he uses his E instantly. Okay, so he capitalizes on the fact that I have no E to stun him when he charges his E, right? So he wants to E me right after I auto attack, and that's what he does. And he trades with me, but now that his E's off cooldown, I get a free Q on him, and I get to Q him and W him, and then again, we come out basically even in that trade. I have cooldown advantage and sustain advantage. And the wave is crashing towards me, so I should be good as long as I don't get ganked. So here, if I do get ganked, the game is basically over. Or like the lane at least. Alright, so here, do you see that? Basically, since I'm ahead, now I can afford to just Q into him and make him waste his E. Alright, so let's go back and see it again, in case you guys missed it. Okay, so I'm finishing my CSing, and I see an opportunity to Q him. I'm gonna Q him. Okay, so I Q him. After that Q, I Q him. After his E expires, he's basically dead now. Okay? Because all I have to do is stun him into W, into ult, and he's dead. But he knows that, so he immediately disengages. What the Jax should have done was auto attack, and then W instantly for the auto attack reset, then Q, then auto attack one more time to proc his ult passive. In return, I would retaliate by stunning him, then auto attacking once to disengage. This way we would come out even in trading. But instead, he panicked and clicked E, which is his only defense mechanism, and that's the only thing not allowing the Irelia to 100-0 the Jax, even under his own tower. And that right there is a prime example of how close this matchup is for the most of laning phase. But now, all I have to do is get into stun range, because he doesn't have his stun back up yet. It's glitched, but he doesn't have it back up. So I drop the ignite, and that's it. You play around each other's cooldowns. This is one of those matchups that depend on that. And now, if I had flashed there, I would have obviously flashed out instead, but since Spellbook is really viable right now, and I can switch to Flash TP later, it's good to have KidBarrierIgnite, because it is on a 2-minute cooldown, and it's good for the laning phase, and it does get the lead that I'm looking for. But you can do this with Flash TP, okay? There's many ways to win this matchup, you just have to utilize your summoners to the best of your ability. There's one more thing I want to show you guys before I sum this video and wrap things up, and it's going to be my final tip. Before I bring up this final tip, I want to give you a final fact as well, and the fact is, if the Jax has Trinity Force and the Irelia doesn't, even if the Irelia has a lead, if they're the same level in EXP, then the Jax will win because he has a Trinity Force. Because of the power shift Trinity Force has to offer, it doesn't really matter if the Irelia is more fed. If she doesn't have a Trinity Force and the Jax has a Trinity Force, he will destroy the Irelia, and this goes vice versa. So for my final tip, it goes both ways. So when Irelia gets the lead or gets her Trinity Force, she wants to Q2 minion and then stun the Jax. And she wants to directly activate her W, unlike before where she had to save her W. She wants to activate it, and then she wants to bash on the Jax until he activates his E. And then after he does that, she wants to disengage with her Q to a minion, and then she wants to re-engage when the Jax's E is expired. Okay, so that's how you play the matchup from Irelia's side. And that's assuming the Irelia built a lead beforehand, or the Irelia goes even and has her Trinity Force. Now, if the Jax has the lead, what he wants to do to get the kill is he doesn't go full on and get the kill, unfortunately, just because Irelia is very safe and she can just constantly stun him, so he constantly has to harass the Irelia every chance he gets. So he goes auto attack on the minions, and then once he has his third proc on his auto attack, he wants to Q the Irelia, then auto W to chunk her, and then he wants to disengage and wait for the Irelia to waste her E, and then he wants to do the same thing over and over until he chunks her low enough so that he can dive her. So that's all I have for you about this matchup. Thanks so much for bearing with me until the end. I hope everything makes sense. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of questions because there's so many scenarios and so many things that can happen differently, but this is what I find the most common way to explain this matchup, and I'm pretty confident I covered everything that's important. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. No sellout intended, haha. But I just realized, I was looking at my statistics actually, and I realized that from all the videos that I've posted, you guys like these ones the most, so that's why I made another one of these videos, and I want to see if you guys enjoy these. So if you do enjoy these videos, I'll be making a lot more of them, and I'll explain every single matchup, Irelia and Jax based, and Fiora because I play her sometimes. Anyways, that's it for now, take care.